Test 1 to 3. After this is complete, we will go on. Okay, it seems everything is actually pretty fine. So, hello everybody, my name is Kikrlin and I am finally back. Welcome to GRS, where today our drivers are tackling the Temple of Speed. And of course talking about the world famous Monza circuit. This circuit is 5.8 kilometers or 3.6 miles long, and being the Temple of Speed, reaching around 264 kph or 164 miles per hour average speed, is only made out of 11 corners. 2 slow speed, 6 medium speed, and 3 fast speed corners. This track is one of the most famous tracks on the calendar, and also one of the only ones to be present from 1950s, when F1 was made. It has made absolutely incredible races in both real life and F1 game leagues. Even when you think that you don't really get a lot of action on this track because it's only a straight, trust me, it's more than that. Sebastian Vettel's incredible victory in Toro Rosso in 2009, Gasly's incredible win in 2020, McLaren's show of dominance on the straights, getting a 1-2 in the race in 2021, but the track is mostly famous when Ferrari wins, like Charles Leclerc in 2019 or Alonso in 2010 in their first years in that red suit. Definitely incredibly impressive, which maybe we will see today, you never know. The Tifosi just get mad, and it's amazing to see, and is one of the most memorable moments when it does happen. We might have some mixed conditions in the race, of course, with both dry and wet conditions, and for that we have the C3, C4 and C5 tires available, as well as the intermediates and the wets for the rain if it is going to be needed. And I bought a new microphone recently, so I'm still doing a lot of experiments, trying to somehow sort stuff out. So please tell me if it's good. I think it's actually good. Okay, I need to put it a bit further if I'm seeing this correctly. Okay, this should be good enough, hopefully. Okay, this should be good. Anyway, we are just waiting for a few people to join the grid. So, after that, we will go ahead. So, yeah, we have a short qualifying session and a 50% race like always. And, of course, it is everything the same. Give me just a moment, I'm still setting up my microphone. Okay, there we go. It wasn't Charles' first win. Did I say it was his first win? I mean first win at Monza. That's what I mean. For Ferrari. And maybe I just worded it wrong. Honestly, I already forgot what I said. So I don't know. So yeah, I think everything should be good. Let me just double check. Okay. Okay, it's good. It's been a while since I've commented because my microphone died like 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't able to buy a new one because I'm poor. I'm still in school. So I had to wait a little bit. But now I have a new microphone, I can commentate once again, and hopefully you guys missed me. And if you didn't, well, you are gonna have to bear with me anyways. Anyway, we do have some reserves for today from F4. I don't know who they are. I think it's Niki Lauda in the Haas and Bouncier in Alpine. But, of course, I'm not sure because I don't look at these things in advance. I don't know why. I really should have prepared for this. Very good. But I think we should go racing very soon. I think we're just missing around 1 or 2 more people. I, of course, don't know who they are, but we will wait and see. But I think people are raiding up, so we will go ahead. For the 18-minute qualifying session, which will set the grid for the race, which is 27 laps. Of course, like I said before, we might have some mixed conditions in the race, and if we don't, I think a one stop is definitely doable. Probably mediums to hards, maybe even softs to hards. Of course, we will have to wait and see what everyone will decide. And if there will be rain, it won't make such a big impact because this is mostly made out of straights. So you'll just have to be careful around the traction around the first chicane, second chicane, Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2, and Ascari. And if you can manage that, you'll be completely fine, even in the rain. So this is probably the most easiest track to drive in the wet, in my opinion at least. You just have to be very, very careful on the throttle. Or if you're running assists, you just go flat out, and you don't care. But if you're like some of us, which run with no assists, it is quite challenging. Of course, this game having better traction than other games, it's way easier to get good traction on other people. And if you know how to do it, maybe you can even be faster than the assist runners. But let's see right now what weather we have for the qualifying session, and it is rainy! Very interesting indeed. This is gonna be interesting. Okay. So, like I said before, this is gonna be not too difficult, but I think rain is the best point for our drivers to see where their pace is compared to everyone else. Even though cars are equal, this condition will represent the driver's control over the car, and I think I saw some people choosing wets. Maybe I saw that wrong, but I don't think it's that hard. I don't even see that many drops of rain, at the moment at least. As we have our first guy out on track, it is Niki Lauda, the F4 reserve, being the first guy out on track. So we will go on board with him for the first lap, and we will see how he will do with more pressure added to him being in a higher division. But I mean, if he is in a higher division, then definitely he had some good performances in F4. So he definitely has something to prove. And maybe if he does well today, maybe he will also be a full-time in F3. But of course, the main thing, as always, is to just enjoy the race, and everything else will come suit. You don't need to perform as he goes off the track. Thankfully, we don't have damage enabled for side pods, diffuser, and the floor. And if he did, he would most likely be dead after hugging those sausage curbs on the outside of the track. And if you're on your qualifying lap, you really want to be careful where you brake. This track, I think, can very easily you think you can brake later on this track, but you actually cannot. So, for example, going into turn 1, you really have to be careful where you brake, and going into the second chicane as well. You really have to brake at the correct point, or at least a bit earlier. There are also a few instances where you can cut the curbs a lot, but I would not advise that, as the Haas driver has let S through, so let's go on board with him for the first qualifying lap of Monza. So high speed, 340 kilometers an hour. He brakes at 125 meters. Of course, going to second gear because it's wet to get the better rotation. If it were me, I would short shift to third and fourth, as he did, to get the best traction out of the corner. and get the most speed, as he did, hugging the whole inside of the track to not lose too much time, braking at 120 meters again, cutting a little bit of the corner on the inside, and I think getting a pretty solid exit. Heading it to Lesmo 1, going into 5th gear. I would most likely, if it's wet, go into 4th for extra rotation, and then short shift to 5th for the traction at the exit. Those two are probably the most difficult corners on the track, and the next difficult is Ascari, which after the second DRS zone, of course it's wet so we don't have DRS, brakes at 100 meters, goes to 5th gear, and gets a pretty solid exit. He did go a bit too late on the throttle in my opinion. He could have gotten a bit earlier for that extra speed at the exit, but I think it was pretty good. Next we go into Parabolica. It has been renamed for this year, I don't remember what the name is, but he got a pretty good exit, and the first lap of the session, which is a banker, is a 126.4. Let's see if anyone else is going to be able to beat that, as Nick Lauda crosses the line. A 132.5, probably made a mistake somewhere, as Galaxy Dark is starting his own lap, as the other Haas driver has moved or has went out of the pit lane. Let's see who else is going to cross the line. It is the Mercedes of Mitch Snape, only 0.3 slower than our current pole sitter, so not too shabby for his first run. Hable Babel and Red Bull also cross the finish line with a 127.3, and we have a new provisional pole sitter with Callum Leons, a 126.3. So looks like we are going to have lap times near this point. Maybe we can see a lap time in the 25s, as Oscar was pretty close with a 126.0 in the Alfa Romeo. Pretty good lap time there. Let's see if we can improve later in the session. And that was surely very good, as he spins right after turn 1 after finishing his lap, which is saying a lot. By the way, you may see that it says Q1 at the top left after the caution disappears. There we go. But we do not have a full qualifying session. That's just a glitch which Codemasters doesn't want to fix. We do have a short qualifying, only one qualifying, so the drivers will have to do the best they can. Out of the intermediates, I think they get 2 sets of inters and 2 sets of wets. Or it's 3 inters and 2 wets. I am honestly not sure. I probably should know that already, but I do not. But we are... let's see, who can we go on board with? I am the one. He is going to go into the pit lane. I think Bakalik has started his lap, so let's go on board with him. Let's see what he can do. His teammate currently in P10 with a 128.9. Looks like he improved on his last run, being that his last run was a 32. Which definitely isn't what he can do. That rhymes. I am very happy about that. As he sets a purple sector 1. Let's see if he can manage that for the rest of the session, as there was a McLaren nearly blocking him, but he went off the track. I don't know if he was on lap, but I don't think so. But thankfully he moved out of the way. So let's see if he can maybe put a purple sector 2, which is going to be a 57.2. I don't know if that's good or bad, because I only really did a dry running on this track. But we will see pretty soon. Bakalik is a pretty solid driver. I don't remember his performances from other races in this season, but I think he was pretty solid. I think he got unlucky in Texas, if I remember correctly, so he didn't finish in the points. He probably also retired, but I'm not sure. But there is definitely one thing, and that is that he is fast. And this proves it, as he goes to B2 with a 126.3. And not too shabby. As we have 10 minutes left until the end of the session, the current pole sitter is Oscar in the Alfa Romeo with a 126.0. If he does manage to improve slightly, that is going to be the first time in the 25s. So let's hope that he can do that, or anyone else, of course. Next is Bakalik on front row with a 126.3, with right behind him, 40 thousandths of a second, Callum Leons in the Alpine. The Williams of S only 50 thousandths of a second behind, and the Green Racer also not too far behind. Let's see who else is close. The other Ferrari of Maestro with a 126.6. Galaxy Dark very close to him with Mitch Snape, and I am the one also within a tenth of the driver. Habel Babel in the Red Bull is MP10 N4D, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna call him N4. N4 in P11 with a 27.0. Callum Pierce, 27.8. He will definitely want to improve with that run being pretty garbage, if I say so myself. There is definitely a lot that he is capable of, and I think he is actually on the run right now, with Mauro Kivanek in P13, 127.9, and Niki Lauda, the F4 reserve, 28.9. And Callum Pierce is on the run, 17th improvement. Unfortunately, doesn't bump him up anywhere, not even one position, but if he does manage to improve in the final sector, which I think Ascari was pretty nice, in my opinion, if he manages to improve, I think he will definitely go a few more positions than one. But he is going to cross the line right now. Let's see what time this is going to be. In 126.5, and he does improve to P6, ahead of his teammate, which is the most important in a league race. Ahead of Mitch Snape, only 2 tenths ahead of him. Speaking of Mitch Snape, he is currently on a run. Let's see what he can do. Going ahead of turn 1 and 2. Exit in the corner in second gear. He's definitely running traction, there is no way. Like, he also nearly went full throttle. Definitely traction control. 2 tenths up on his previous best, hugging the curb quite a lot on the inside line into turn 3 and turn 4. The most ideal line for me is you wanna hug that inside line into turn 3, but turn 4 you don't want to, or turn 4 and 5. Turn 4 hug the inside, and then turn 5 don't touch the sausage curb on the inside line, because it really doesn't settle your car, and the exit that you get, you really do lose quite a bit of time if you touch that sausage curb. But other than that, his lines were pretty solid, as he is looking to get slipstream from his teammate. Which is very nice from the Mercedes boys here, helping each other. That is probably gonna get him around half a tenth, maybe more, but it wasn't really that great of a help by his teammate. But he does go in P2, 126.1, pretty impressive. Looks like all of his time gained was in Sector 3. Probably Ascari was pretty bad, and looking at it before, it was pretty nice on his current on board. Mitch's TC off, unless he's turned it on because it's raining. Well, he should have stayed off. Like I said before, it's not difficult in this year's game. Also, if you know how to do setups, you can also make it even easier. I'm gonna give you guys a little help and know that the rear differential is very important in the wet. It will give you a lot of stability and a lot of good traction at the exits. The only thing, you're gonna get a little bit of understeer, and most optimal in the rain is 55 to 60%. So if you just bump that up and nothing else, you'll see your wet weather pace is gonna be pretty much improved. So that's a little tip right there for anyone playing the game. But 5 minutes left until the end of the session. A lot of people in the pit lane waiting for the final few minutes of the session to go out and set their final few runs. If it were me, I would stay out as much as possible, set like 4 laps on a single set of tires, and then go in, wait until the end of the session, and then set 3 more laps on a new set of intermediates. Save 1 intermediate set for the race if there is gonna be rain, which I don't think so, but We will see, of course. But that would be my strategy call. I don't know how these guys are doing it. I know that one guy, I think it was Sable Babel, was 5 laps out and only just now went into the pit lane. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 1, it is the Aston Martin of I Am The One, just going slowly, presumably ran out of fuel. And letting everyone through, which is nice indeed. But let's see who is on a lap. S is just about to cross the finish line. Let's see if he improves by anything. And no, unfortunately he doesn't. But he is going for another one. So let's see if we can expect an improvement. Let's see who is next. Aston Martin of Mark Ivanek, who unfortunately just crashed. He does have enough time to go into the pit lane, maybe put new intermediates if he has any damage, which currently it seems he doesn't, so he's got off to the good end of Parabolica and didn't get damaged, also didn't get flown off like F3, and I think it was 2017, 2018, or actually 2018 or 2019, because he had a halo, where he just went wide at Parabolica or Alberetto. And just went flying off the corner into the barrier. Thankfully, he was fine, but definitely a scary crash. Definitely gonna give you nightmares if you're driving. But 3 minutes left until the end of the session. A lot of people still in the pit lane. So, waiting until literally those final few moments. So let's just go up the grid. Oscar still in P1, Mitch Snape is in P2, Bakalik in P3, I'm the one in P4, Calama Leon's in P5, Mark Ivanek in P6, S in P7, currently going into the pit lane, the Green Racer in P8, Hibble Babel in P9, Pierce in P10, N4 in P11, Maestro in P12, Galaxy Dark in P13, Nicolauda P14, Puma P15, Bouncier in P16 and Turek in P17. Puma, Bouncier and Turek haven't had lap time yet, so hopefully they will be able to do that with 2 minutes left until the end of the session. Ferrari boy not really doing well at their home track in P8 and P12. So, not really looking well as Callum Pierce does a 1:25.5. Jesus, that's a nice lap. 5/10 faster than Oscar behind. I thought Oscar was gonna be the first one to get into the 15s, but Callum Pierce just smashed that lap time. I am beyond impressed. He did race in F1, I think, in Imola, if I remember correctly. And I mean, it is PCF1, it is 2 divisions higher than PCF3, so of course you don't expect him to do well, but in F3 he's doing, I mean, for the moment, he's doing pretty fine in qualifying. You want about Joe, Big Aqua Planing, you can Valtteri did the same thing but managed to avoid the wall. I don't think it was Joe, it was someone else, but I really don't remember who it was. It was in the dry. I just don't remember what it was. I would have to check that later on. Maybe if we have like a red flag or a restart, then I can go check. But let's go on board with a McLaren here with Galaxy Dark just starting his lap. Let's see how he is gonna able to do. He needs 1 second improvement if he wants to set a pole position lap time, but he does make a huge mistake into the first chicane. That's probably gonna be a huge time loss, and he only really needs like 1/10 to improve 3 positions. It is a pretty close grid today that we have. Like from P2 to P14, it's only half a second. So it's very interesting. Hopefully in the race is gonna be that close as well. So we have a pretty nice battle for points, or maybe in the podium positions. Galaxy Dark unfortunately does invalidate his lap. So let's see who is else on a lap. I think there was a Haas that is starting his lap, a Williams of S starting his lap, but next to cross the line is going to be Habel Babel, currently not improving. Let's see, maybe the last sector. No, he doesn't improve, but thankfully he crossed the line just in time, so he is able to do another one. Let's see if he improves. Turek is going to cross the line. He unfortunately does not improve, stays in P16. Galaxy Dark is going into the pit lane because he did invalidate his lap. Puma next to cross the finish line, currently in P13, goes up to P5. Pretty impressive there from the Alfa Romeo. One Ferrari goes into the pit lane, but the other one goes to provisional pole with a 25.3. A Haas of Bakalik improves to P3. Marek Ivanek goes to P4 as well. Next to cross line is going to be the McLaren of N4. He unfortunately does not improve, stays in P10. I am the one also does not improve. S unfortunately spins right after Ascari, very unfortunate there. The Alpine of Callum is not improving as well, but Mitch Snape, let's see if he is improving. Oh, sliding in Parabolica. He is not going to improve, he is going to stay in P7. But honestly, those final few moments of qualifying were very, very impressive. A lot more people in the 125s than I thought there would be, with the Green Racer Pierce. Habel Babel crossing the finish line. I thought he didn't improve. Interesting. Well, another one in the 25s. So the Green Racer, Habel Babel, Pierce, Bakalik, and Mark Ivanek in the 25s. Pretty impressive, and the top 14 within, I mean, not within a second and 2/10, but still pretty close. I am very excited for this race, but we do have to keep in mind that we are gonna see a lot of trains or DRS trains happening in today's race. Of course, it's not gonna be that bad as in real life because DRS have been buffed. But of course, we are going to have to wait and see. But congratulations for the Green Racer in the Ferrari at his home, or at Ferrari's home race, setting a pole position lap time with a 125.3, with Habel Babel just behind him. Let me just get the race director. Securing the front row, Callum Pierce and Bakalik in the second row, Mara Kimenek and Oscar in the third row, Callum and Snape in the fourth row, and Puma and N4 in fifth row. Below the top 10 are I'm the One, S, Maestro, Galaxy Dark, Nicolauda, Torek, and the Bouncier, who unfortunately didn't set a lap time. And we are onto the race. It is gonna be interesting now to see what the drivers put dry setups and wet setups, because I still don't know if we have a rainy or a dry session. We're gonna see, of course, now. If it is dry, everyone probably went on dry setups. And it is dry. So dry setups it is. Today, oh okay, I thought you were talking about today. You mean the big smash at Parabolica? That was Charles. Yes, that crash. It was scary, very scary. Hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone in real life again. And of course we're going to Monza next week. So maybe this is gonna give us something to maybe somehow to speculate what's gonna happen in real life, but I hugely doubt it. But if you want my opinions on today's race in the Netherlands in real life, oh my god, what a race! Probably one of my favorite races this season. But enough about that. We have 5 red lights. It's a long call as always, but we are underway for the Italian Grand Prix. The Green Racer gets a pretty bad start, but still does cover off the Red Bull of the Habel Babel, but he is still going to try and go down the inside as there's Mercedes. Oh my god, carnage into turn 1. A lot of people just this is probably gonna be a restart. 2 people have retired. We had the Mercedes going up the track outside on the grass, thankfully avoiding the Ferrari, but then just a Alpine out of nowhere of Callum Lyons just killing everyone in turn 1. If this is how we are going to expect real life, it would be very interesting. But this is definitely gonna be a restart. Let me check very quickly. Uh, yeah, there is a red flag. Okay, okay. Red flag. Red flag, yeah. So, a very interesting lap 1, turn 1. Honestly, I was expecting all of that to happen because you can never have a clean turn 1 in a league race. Like, you're just asking for a miracle to happen, and that was definitely expected from my point of view. But yeah, we do have a restart. It is red flags. And yeah, we are gonna restart with the same grid we had before the start of the race, and hopefully everything will be fine. But this gives us a good opportunity to talk more about today's race in the Netherlands, which I spoke about in slight detail, but I can go into it more now because we have a lot of time. So, honestly, it was carnage. I mean, it wasn't huge carnage, but the weather, oh my god, like, what? I don't think I've seen that recently, or I don't think I've ever seen that. Like, dry to wet, to dry, to wet, to the end. It would have been nice if it went dry at the end as well. It would have been even more carnage. But this was definitely one of my favorite races of this season. Like, you just couldn't understand what to do. As I literally have no words to explain how it went. Like, that race was amazing. Like, imagine being the strategist at that point. Like, I don't know how they did it. Like, when the rain first dropped at the beginning, I was very much human that some people just didn't go instantly into the pit lane, because on the radar, they showed it in the beginning, the radar, it literally showed huge rain clouds and heavy rain coming instantly, and only Perez went into the pit lane. Like, you saw how much time he gained there by going into the pit lane. Imagine if some of the back markers, I mean, there were some back markers like Zhou and Gasly that boxed, or was it Ocon? It was one of the Alpines. They boxed and they were literally P2 and P3. Like, imagine if some other people that were back markers went in. Imagine if Albon went in. Like, he was ahead of Perez, he would be leading the race. I mean, he would have been overtaken by Perez instantly and Verstappen, but he would definitely hold up Zhou and Ocon or Gasly or whoever the Alpine was. Like, Albon would have looked very good. But speaking of Albon, Williams ruined him every single time he went into the pits in that race, except for when he went to the softs again, or I think it was no, he went for he went for mediums. Why mediums? Like, they literally saw that the rain was coming in like 10 minutes time, and softs were brilliant. Hamilton was closing in on him very, very quickly, and they went for mediums and not softs. Like, why? They literally ruined Albon so much. I'm honestly surprised how he got, or how he stayed in P9. Like, I am so confused. But yeah, he stayed in P9. He got 2 points. Or no, P8. P8, because Russell got a puncture at the end. I think it might have been P8. So Albon, just unbelievable drive from him yesterday and today in qualifying and the race. I cannot wait to see what he will do in Monza next week, because that track is literally made for Williams. Like, if he doesn't finish in the top 5, I am gonna be so confused. Like, Red Bull is insanely fast in the straight line, so they will definitely be 1-2, but Williams should be close behind, at least like maybe P3, like minimum top 5. And I think that this is the only chance for Logan Sargent to get points, because every other track is pretty difficult for a rookie. And you saw how he was pretty confused in the Netherlands. Like, he wasn't bad, his Q1 and Q2 was pretty impressive, but then Q3 he crashed, in the race he crashed, so definitely not a rookie-friendly track. But seeing that, you also gotta give credit to Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson, he finished ahead of Tsunoda! He finished P13, Tsunoda finished P16, and he only got into the car on Friday, only had wet weather running, no dry running. He literally had no way to get anywhere into that race, and he somehow still managed to get in front of 7 cars, 3 which retired, or maybe 4, actually 4 which retired, and 3 which probably made a lot of mistakes. But still, you have to give credit to Liam Lawson. He was only 3 positions off of points. Like, incredibly impressive from Liam. And finishing ahead of Tsunoda in his debut race, like, my god, Liam Lawson has impressed me a lot. Like, I wasn't expecting anything from Lawson. I was literally expecting him to finish P20, because it was his first time, only wet running, no dry running, and blah 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 blah. But he was incredibly impressive today. But speaking of AlphaTauri, Tsunoda did get killed by the strategy that his teammate, that his team put him on. Because I think if he would have boxed, he would have definitely finished in the points. But because he didn't box, he just dropped down. He couldn't battle with anyone and just lost a lot of positions. So he got screwed by his strategy, but he also had a pretty awesome drive today. And Gasly, oh my god, Gasly, and Alonso. There are so many people I can give like praise to. Even Zhou was running a pretty solid race, but the car was just way too slow for him to do anything, even to finish in the points. So unfortunate for him. Like, it was just overall an amazing race, probably one of my favorites of the season. How unpredictable it was, and the strategies. I literally thought at some point, or after the red flag, that Alonso actually had a chance to win the race, because he showed that in the wet he had the pace to match Verstappen. And I was literally saying to him to dive bomb Verstappen into turn 1 after the restart, but I knew it was a big stretch, and that that he wasn't gonna do it. But if he did it, like, oh my god, he probably wouldn't be able to hold it up for long, as Verstappen was just way too fast. But Alonso, it's nice to see Aston Martin back after really bad runnings. And I just realized I had 2 songs playing in the background, so that is very nice. I love that. Very good. So yeah, all in all, the race I give a 10 out of 10. I literally don't. I mean, the middle part was a bit boring when it was dry, but it wasn't that bad. Okay, 9 out of 10 because of that dry point. But a lot of people I saw were very mad about the red flags, but I think it was justified. Like, so many people went into turn 1 and so nearly into the wall. They avoided it well, but the red flags were justified. Like, there was no way you could drive in those conditions. So I saw everyone said that red flag wasn't supposed to happen, but in my opinion they were. I mean, Zeke, you have to keep in mind, so if I saw correctly, they broke in the wet before, and in the in the wet they broke around 100 meters, and then in the dry they broke around 70 to 60 meters. If I remember correctly. I don't, probably. But then when it went that heavy rain, they literally broke like 50 meters earlier for the corner at 150 meters. Maybe even some people went earlier, I saw, and they still fully locked up and went straight. You literally could not drive in those conditions, even with wet tires, probably. It would be easier with wet tires, but it would still be horrendous. I mean, yeah, I get it. I get it, but I'm just stating some facts that some people, I don't know how some people could say that there wasn't supposed to be red flags. I just really do not know, because they were justified, in my opinion. Yeah, once the rain depth is greater than the tread of the tires, you're donezo. Yeah. That makes you wonder, could it be possible for Pirelli to make like ultra wet tires? I mean, it probably would be possible, but I don't know. You would literally have to have like just a huge hole in the tires, and and that's it. But I don't know. I mean, if in 2019 they had like 6 sets of dry tires, they had like hards, medium softs, super softs, ultra softs, and then super softs, ultra softs, and then hyper softs. Like, what were they thinking in 2018? Like, so many compounds. I'm honestly glad that they put it to only 3 dry compounds, to soft, medium, hard for 2019 onwards. But yeah, it was insane, that 2018 season. Restart should be pretty soon. Everyone's in the lobby. It's just getting the grid sorted out, and we will go ahead. So probably like 2 to 3 minutes, I would say. 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, hopefully we get it cleanly this time, because what I saw today was incredibly expected. So we should expect it for this restart as well. So just keep it up in mind. Anyway, this gives me enough time to do some promotion. So, in the description you will find the links for our socials, for Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. So if you cannot watch the stream, but you still want to keep in touch with the results and whatnot, you can follow us on the socials in the description, where we post the race results after the race, or the latest a day after the race. So you can also keep in touch there. There is also a link for the official Discord, and if you like the action you are seeing so far and you want to race in our league, you can just join off of the link and do sign-ups. Or if you just want to help out, some staff applications open up every once in a while, so you can do commentary, stewarding, standings, coordination, or if you just want to hang out in the league. Everyone is pretty friendly, so if you just want to talk with the drivers or anyone else, you can just join. Also, if you're enjoying the stream so far and the race, please leave a like, as it really helps us out, and you might also want to consider subscribing to the channel, so you keep in touch with the races and whatnot, and the shorts, of course. And yeah, that is all I have to say. I will repeat it once more at the end of the race, but we are restarting finally. So let's go ahead. Like tractor tires. I mean, sort of like tractor tires. They could, but they'd be mostly pointless. Probably. Probably. But thankfully, our drivers don't have to worry about that, because we are not going to have rain today. Yay! Or at least I hope so. I don't know. I don't know the weather forecast, which Codemasters should really implement into the spectators menu, that you can watch the weather prediction or the weather, because it is pretty stupid that you cannot check. But yeah, we are again gonna have to wait a little bit for our drivers to figure out their strategies, put their setups back in, because if you don't put setups, you're probably gonna run at balanced, which is like 16-12 wings, and you do not wanna have that at Monza. I mean, wings do make a difference at the 3 corners there are on this track, but it's mostly straight, so I would not advise going 16-12. I mean, of course, in F2 we're gonna see some people like Lapich here in chat having 0-0 wings, probably, which is gonna be fun to see, but I don't think anyone's running that today. Trial race, thank you very much. And we are underway for the restart of the Italian Grand Prix. Looks like Cable Babel has again got a way better start than the Ferrari of the Green Racer, but still the straight line speed of the Green Racer has been pretty good so far. He is gonna go down the inside. Oh my god, what are you guys doing? That, very interesting. So the Red Bull was being I don't know what to say. Let's just go on with the race. We have 2 wide behind with, I think that's Mitch Snape and N4 going around the outside. He does make the move stick, goes to P5, very nice move there indeed, which gives I'm the one the great opportunity around the outside as well. Is Mitch Snape gonna leave the space? He does leave the space, but he is gonna stay ahead as we have a Mercedes outside the track that is Callum Pierce. So Puma is now going to overtake him, as Mitch Snape gets overtaken by the Aston Martin again, and he might also get overtaken by the second Aston Martin, but he backs out of it, thankfully, into Ascari. You don't really want to attack in Ascari. It's not where you really want to overtake. You don't see a lot of spaces given, and you don't also have a lot of space to overtake, so thankfully he backed out. The Green Racer in the Ferrari, already a 2-second gap to the driver behind, which is Bakalik, and that is very nice. We also have a battle right ahead with Puma in the Alfa Romeo and Callum Pierce battling for the final podium position. Callum Pierce, you can see, has a pretty good straight line speed, but he does lock the rears, and unfortunately that is going to compromise both of their runs, and they both get overtaken by N4, and I am the one. So now N4 is on the podium positions, where also Puma overtaking back I am the one, as he locks up yet again, going into turn 2. What are these drivers doing? Is it so hard to just brake? I think I'm gonna take your comment, Zeke, and I'm gonna steal it. people forgot what brakes are. Like, this is just madness. But you can see on the minimap a huge train spanning from N4 down to the AlphaTauri of Turek for the final points playing position, with Bakalik actually getting pretty close to the Ferrari ahead of him. So not too shabby from that side, but they are on softs, as I just saw now. So they are gonna have to pit pretty early into the race, presumably 4 hearts to the end of the race. Unless there's gonna be a safety car, maybe then go for mediums, as they probably could stretch to the end, but we will have to wait and see. We have a crash behind. I think that is the Alpine and Aston Martin going outside the track, losing a lot of position. Marek was in, I think, P7, now running in P12. Very unfortunate there, as we are gonna probably have 3 wide going into the second chicane. Thankfully, only 2 wide, with the Ferrari of Maestro going down the inside of the Alpine of Callum Lyons, trying to also overtake Niki Lauda, but unfortunately didn't really do anything about it. He backed out of that, but still got ahead of the Alpine of Callum. Carnage there in the midfield of the pack. This is insane. DRS has also been enabled. Maestro is trying to go back at it again down the inside at Ascari, and he does make it stick finally, as Callum Lyons is the first guy to get a 3-second time penalty, as there was a crash with Callum Peters, I think, making contact with the Aston Martins, as we have 3 wide here with Haas, Ferrari and Alpine into Parabolica. Thankfully, Maestro has backed out of that. I think he might have damage. He got a lot of understeer into that corner, and he is going to go into the pit lane, unfortunately, for the Ferrari. But we again have 3 wide between these guys. Callum doesn't have any DRS, so he is a bystander in this field for the points paying position, and the Williams of S is just gonna gain so many positions off of just other people's mistakes. What is going on? This is amazing. I mean, it is carnage, but it is amazing as well. As I think right ahead... Oh, we have a switch in the lead. I completely missed that, baby, because of the carnage we had. Bakalik is leading, so it seems like his race pace is incredibly better than the quali pace. In quali pace, I think you qualified like P3. We can check that very quickly. P4! Ooh, even more impressive. His race pace really is shaping up to be very nice. But it seems those softs are looking well for the frontrunners of Bakalik and Green Racer, because there is already 4 seconds to the next car behind, which is Puma in the Alfa Romeo, which is currently under attack from the McLaren of N4. He is definitely gonna make this move stick. He is not even using ERS because he doesn't need to. And right behind, the other McLaren has overtaken Mitch Snape. So very impressive there. And I'm the one trying to close back on where he started. Oh, Torrega getting a snap at the exit of 10-2. Thankfully, didn't lose too much time off of that. As Puma and N4 again going side by side, N4 having to take the escape road there. Let's hope he doesn't compromise his teammate right behind. Is he gonna maybe let him overtake? No, but he did get a pretty bad run. Is he gonna actually go for it? No, he backs out of it. I don't know why he had to take the escape road, but that's the first time in my league racing experience I've seen someone take that escape road. I am actually impressed that he actually took the escape road. I'm gonna give you a clap. Actually, more claps, sure. Because that is very, very respectful. He lost like 5 seconds from that, but no one does that, honestly. But this is gonna be a very interesting battle here for P4. We have I Am The One and 4 Snape and Galaxy, or Snape and 4 and I Am The One in the DRS of Galaxy. And nothing is gonna happen. Actually, scratch that. I'm the one going on the inside, trying to brake later than the McLaren, but unfortunately couldn't really make it stick. He tried to switch back at the exit, but again, N4 got a really nice exit and really good traction. So he stays in P6. As I am the one braking very early, also lifting off the throttle. Is he maybe saving some fuel? That could be interesting for the end. Monza isn't known for high fuel usage, so I really don't know what he's doing. It's very interesting indeed. But let's get back at this battle here for P4. Mitch Snape getting a little bit of time to the McLaren, and as I say that, he literally makes every single mistake that he can. Which gives N4 a really good opportunity, a 10th behind. Let's see. Oh, Mitch Snape gets a really bad exit yet again, and a snap at the exit. He has to track extend. And that should be an easy overtake for the McLaren. As our leaders are also battling here. I think they were going side by side into turn 1. And this is just carnage. I'm gonna stick a little bit with the leaders. And let's talk a little bit about strategy. So, half of the grid is on softs. Backlick, the Green Racer, Mara Kivanek, Hebel Babel, Pierce, and Maestro. And Torek, but he did just switch up those softs. I really don't know why. But their pit window should open fairly soon. Around lap 8 or 9. Maybe even 10 if they want to stretch the softs as much as possible. And that could give them an opportunity to go for mediums or hards to the end. And we have a retirement of Mara Kivanek. Let's try and go to the Alpine to see what happened there. And we can't really see anything. I would have to guess that he just lost control out of Lesmo 2 and went into the wall. Very unfortunate there for Mara Kivanek, who was very unlucky for the beginning of the race. And now has retired. We see everyone going into the pit lane. Let's see what tires they are going to choose. Mediums could be an option, but it's a far stretch, so hards definitely the best choice for our drivers here and leaders. But actually, it's only the Green Racer. Okay, it's not. But Bakalik really gambling it on the mediums. Honestly, pretty surprising. It's gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna play out. Bakalik is gonna get a better start of the stint, but once those tires start to drop off at 25% and then 50%, the Green Racer will just get insane speed out of the corners. So let's see if the Green Racer can stay behind and maybe just wait until the tires drop off. I see some people going for softs. I am incredibly confused why. Because you cannot go to the end. So I am very confused. I really don't know. I just realized I might need to turn the audio up a little bit. I am a bit too loud. Anyway, the hard runners should go to the end very, very safely and clearly. So it is gonna be interesting to see the medium runners if they can go to the end. Let's see, the penalties. Callum Leon's currently the only one who has penalties, but he is also not in the session, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully he can join back soon enough. Let's check the positions changes. The most positions gained is by Galaxy Dark, starting from P14 and going to P5. He is really having a good race so far. Definitely very impressive. As Callum Leon says, AI goes into the pit lane. Very good indeed. And he is probably gonna go to the end, and that gives Galaxy Dark 10 positions gained. The most positions lost is unfortunately for Callum Pierce, which is 9 positions lost. And hopefully he can claw back starting from P3, and unfortunately being involved in incidents. But yeah, honestly so far it has been pretty solid. Carnage, of course, as always. Like, what I find most interesting about Monza, it's literally straight. But Monza delivers the most, mostly the more... I'm trying to find the word, because my English is pretty poo-poo. Monza delivers the most carnage, even though it's only straight, which I find very fascinating. That's a big... that's mostly because people just outbrake themselves. They just are way too confident in their in the brakes, in their skill. I really don't know, but it's just so interesting in my opinion. Safety cars in this lap, so let's see. Because there's normally so few corners at Monza, people get super aggressive on them. I mean, yeah, sure. And also DRS is bullshit toppy here. DRS is wank at Monza IRL cause the wing is super skinny. True. But it's still super interesting to see. Bakalik going very... can he even go? The safety car is not even in the pit lane yet. But it seems that he can. What? The first time I see this. But it is green flag running. We are back yet again. Let's see how things are gonna fare. Bakalik is definitely gonna be able to extend his gap to the green racer right behind him, because he is on better tires, with the mediums, of course, being better. But tire wear is pretty bad at Monza, if I remember correctly. So in around 7 laps time, the mediums will already start dropping off. And he will want to have already maybe a 7-second gap, so he doesn't lose that much time. Maybe even less, maybe 5 seconds, I don't know. But currently he is doing a very good job extending that gap. But let's see here, in midfield there are some battles, not a lot of changes happening so far at the restart. People are actually taking it safe for once, so that is very nice to see, honestly. But we do have the Williams of S and Hailbabel battling here for P9. Hailbabel goes round the outside even before the corner of Parabolica and takes P8. And that is gonna give him 4 points. Of course, if you're new to Formula 1, how the points works, it goes from P1 to P10 as follows: 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1. You also get a fast lap for the... you also get a point for the fastest lap, but if you're in the top 10, or at least that's how it's in Formula 1 in real life. I don't know if GRS you can get maybe even below the top 10, but that's how it works. But yeah, you also have to make a mandatory pit stop. Mandatory tires are mediums and hards, so if you use either one of them in the race at least once, you can go to the end of the race. And that's why you see a lot of people boxing under VSCs, maybe boxing twice under safety cars, and stuff like that. So yeah, it is very interesting indeed. But there is also things such as DRS. If you see the rear wing of that Ferrari who is about to get killed by the Alfa Romeo, you can open it if you are at designated DRS zones, which are coming right up, one at the start-finish straight and one right after Lesmo 2 before Ascari as the Ferrari gets overtaken, and basically in those zones, if you are a second behind the car ahead, you can open the rear wing to give you a better straight line speed. Around 15 kph, 7 mph, somewhere around that point. I'm not sure, depending on how the wing is shaped and how much wings you are using. So yeah, it is a big thing with ERS as well. So, like I said before, not a lot of action really happening at the restart. Everyone really taking it safely, especially the hard runners, as they have a lot to lose, because if of course, you can choose different tire allocations before the race, as Mitch Snape gets overtaken by N4. The hard runners might not have two hards, as Mitch Snape gets a really nice drift as he saves it at Ascari. So if they get damaged, the only tires then they can go on are the mediums, which might not go to the end. So they really have to be careful. The soft runners can do stuff because they're gonna pit once again. Speaking of soft runners, I'm the one who's going to overtake Galaxy Dark going into turn 1. He's gonna be able to make it stick. Galaxy Dark doesn't defend and makes it easy for the Aston Martin. Very nice there, as we see a Williams outside the track, and another Williams nearly died, battling with the Ferrari of Maestro, who is about to be attacked by Niki Lauda, and he is going to make the move stick. Very nice from the F4 driver. Final lap point is for anyway, yeah, very nice indeed. As we have more 3 seconds awarded to Callum Lee. No, that was Turek? Turek. Yes, Turek. So, very unfortunate there, as Niki Lauda is about to get overtaken by the Ferrari. He doesn't have any ERS to defend with. You can sense that with the red light flashing on the back of the Haas. That means that he doesn't have any ERS, and this just shows that he has 10%. So if you're a driver, you can just see that, and that is your chance to attack the driver ahead, as Maestro unfortunately retires from the race as he crashes into Parabolica. Ferrari is not gonna be enjoying their time today, as the Green Racer also goes outside the track with I am the one nearly colliding with these two. As I am the one gets a drive-through penalty. He literally had to stop dead to avoid hitting the Alfa Romeo and Ferrari ahead of him, and he still got a drive-through. Insane scenes here at Monza F3. Very, very interesting. But yeah, unfortunately we do have another safety car. This does give Bakalik a good opportunity to go to the end, because he can save the tires, or save some wear on the tires for 2 to 3 laps. Of course, depending on how long the safety car is going to stay out. The maximum it can stay out is 3 laps. And if the safety car is near the end of the race, it can only stay 3 laps before the end of the race. So at this example, lap 25 would be the last. Or no, lap 24 would be the last lap for the safety car. And Bakalik is gonna go in. Looks like the tire wear is worse than imaginable. Puma, everyone's following him. Everyone is choosing mediums. Okay, actually a good strategy. I would honestly not think of that. But it is interesting. 3 people of N4, Habel Babel and Niki Lauda have not stopped. And they are the only ones. This is really gonna spice things up. as the Williams of S went for hards. He probably doesn't have any mediums left, probably. So very interesting. Also, what I forgot to mention, the maximum number of safety cars that you can have in the race is 4. Red flags you can probably have infinite and VSEs, but safety cars you can have 4. Actually, it would be interesting. It's interesting how, now that I think about it, it's interesting how we didn't have red flags at the carnage before the restart. Like, a lot of people died, and we didn't have a red flag. I think we did have a safety car, but no red flags. That literally deserved a red flag. It's something to think about, honestly. And some people are leaving. Let me just check very quickly if we have another restart, which... Let me check very quickly. And we do not. So people are just leaving. Who is this guy? Do I have... I do not. Callum Leons wanted me to invite him in the session, but I do not have him as a friend, it seems. Is he in? Ah, yeah, he's in, okay. So that's very good to see. So, the safety car should go in this lap, and we are gonna have 10 laps left to the end of the session. So let's take a few steps back and do a retrospective of the grid. If could it be called a retrospective? Nah, I don't know. Anyway, N4 is in P1, and he started from P10. So he is having a pretty good race so far. He is on old tires, so he is gonna have to defend pretty heavily. But he does have the advantage of 2 people behind him, also on old tires, with Habel Babel and Niki Lauda. So they are gonna block everyone behind, so he can extend a little bit of a gap before they catch up. P4 is Bouncier, Bakalik is in P5. Bouncier is actually having a really good race. I think he's on fresh tires. No, he's not. Okay, so one more on used tires. Puma P6, the green everyone below Bouncier is on fresh tires. Bakalik, Puma, the green racer, M1 Galaxy, Snape, Spears, Turek, Callum Leons, and Shanks. So let's see how things are going to develop in these final few laps of the race. As we are underway, it's green flags for another restart of today's race, as Habel Babel is on the attack of N4. Is he actually gonna be able to make it stick? They are still going side by side, and he does, as N4 just lets him by. Very, very interesting there indeed, as we have yellow flags behind. I think that is the Mercedes, no, the Alpine of Bouncier being spun around, going into turn 1, which is very unfortunate there indeed. And Bakalik has already moved up to P4, so he's not wasting any time on overtaking these guys who are on used tires. You can see how much Niki Lauda is pushing, because he has got a 3-second time penalty for track extensions. M1 is now also on the attack on the Haas driver, and he does make it stick very nicely, as he did have the inside line there. The green racer gets a 3-second time penalty as well, as Bakalik is overtaking Habel Babel. His straight line speed is incredible. Jesus, Bakalik, very, very nice. But the only... Oh, single guy left is the McLaren of N4. Is he gonna be able to make it stick here? Probably. We saw a couple of times that N4 doesn't really defend too heavily against other people, but Bakalik is gonna be patient here, and he is gonna go for the move here using a little bit of his ERS. His fuel light is blinking, so he is gonna have to do some fuel saving to the end of the race, so he will have to get on it as he passes N4 for the lead. Let's see behind here. I'm the one struggling to get past these guys. He got a really good run on Niki Lauda, who is now in P7, losing a lot of positions on guys on fresher tires, but really not looking well against Hibbel and N4. But he does have a lot of time, but at the same time, not a lot of time to spare, because he is battling for the win with Bakalik and the Green Racer behind, even though they do have 3 second time penalties. So Bakalik is already in the clear if he just stays clean. I'm the one going into... What? Does he have damage or something? We're gonna get back at that. Let's see this battle here. AlphaTauri and Turek 3 wide ahead between the two Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo, and somehow they all stay alive. And scratch that, the Alpine doesn't stay alive because the Mercedes of I think it's Spears just pushed him off the track. Oh yeah, I'm the one who had a drive-through, I forgot. He had to use it. So that is very unfortunate for I'm the one, but he is now last, and unfortunately that is his race over, unless there is a safety car. So let's wait and see what happens. But we do have a teammate battle here. Pierce disabling the DRS even before the breaking point into Ascari, not wanting to attack his teammate. Of course, that's a pretty good call. You don't want to really go side by side with Ascari, but they will definitely go side by side again into the start-finish straight. But we do have battles for the podium, as N4 is left behind here, as he doesn't have anything to defend with. Doesn't have any DRS or ERS. I mean, he does have ERS, but he's not using it as he doesn't need to, as the Green Racer and Babel just overtake him very easily. The Green Racer tried to go for a switchback on Babel, but unfortunately didn't have a good exit there out of turn 2, which is very interesting. You would think that he would get better exits, because Babel is on 12 lap all mediums while the Green Racer is on 5. That's a pretty huge difference. I would say Babel is on like 20% already maybe, while Babel is on 14. So oh, aggressive defending there from Babel, as N4 is gonna do a double move into Ascari, and he makes it stick, corner cutting quite a bit to actually make the corner, as the Green Racer also just corner cuts massively and goes into the air and gets overtaken by S and makes contact into Parabolica. I think the Green Racer's patience has ran out, because he's now just going very aggressively, which is not going in his favor. As right ahead, Babel is overtaking N4 again for P2, as these guys are closing in yet again, even though they were pretty compromised by the Green Racer's mistakes. But N4, that double move on Babel and the Green Racer was amazing. I loved that. Honestly, not expecting it, but unfortunately a bit too far behind to the Red Bull to do anything as he defends the inside line going into Lesmo 1, not wanting to get overtaken by the Williams, but unfortunately his tires are dead, so he does have to back out of it, as S is now into the podium positions. But let's see if S can maybe go back at this. We did see that his straight line speed is pretty good as S goes wide and has to extend the track. Unfortunately, as Hebel Babel is also outside the track. Was there contact between the two drivers, or did both of them just make a mistake at the same time? I really do not know. That is very interesting indeed, which I didn't see, as we nearly have 3 wide here between Puma, S and Galaxy Dark. As S... Oh, he does have DRS. Everyone has DRS, except for N4 of course, as he does get overtaken by Puma for P2, and for not letting it stick, actually trying to battle it quite a bit. Not really usual for him, as S gets a really nice exit on Galaxy Dark here, using a little bit of ERS in the process, as Galaxy Dark trying to go on a move, on 2 moves, but it was thankfully only 1 move, as he overtakes his teammate. S getting wheel spin out of the second chicane, which gives the Green Racer an opportunity to overtake him. I'm just at a loss for words at what is happening between these guys for the podium positions. Like, Puma is battling so hard for this, and it makes sense. He does have a penalty, and if he wants to stay there, he needs to clear the gap as soon as possible. And I think he is gonna be able to do that very soon. But this is a huge DRS train here from Puma all the way down to Callum, or not Callum Pierce, Mitch Snape. But being DRS, or saying that DRS is pretty OP, it's not even that big of a DRS train, because people are all overtaking left, right and center on the DRS rates. As saying that, both of the Mercedes have gone out! One Mercedes went on the grass, the other had to avoid and nearly killed his teammate. And their good position has now resulted in nearly a non-points finish. This is carnage at the end. I mean, it's not big carnage like the beginning of the race before the restart, but still, I'm enjoying the racing going on, honestly. As we have yellow flag, it is the AlphaTauri of Turek retiring, and we have a safety car. Okay, this is gonna be bad for the drivers that have penalties, because, I mean, maybe not. They didn't get the gap, so they probably wouldn't get the gap to the end, so they would still get pretty unlucky with penalties. But this actually, on the contrary, gives them a better chance, because people will die, definitely, as Galaxy Dark and Puma stay out. Why? I mean, sure, I get it for Galaxy, but I don't get it for Puma. Like, he has that penalty, and he's just gonna get dropped by everyone. And if he boxed, he might have actually had a chance to do something. Interesting. I mean, he's probably gambling on Galaxy, or hoping on Galaxy to hold up the guys behind, but come on. These guys are on new softs, except for Callum Lee. Callum Leonsa is on used softs. What are you on about? 3 stops. I mean, everyone nearly did a 3 stop except for Shank's 4 stop. But how do you not have fresh softs? Did he literally just go softs all the time? No, that's his first. That's his first set of softs. Huh? I'm so confused. I am really confused. Anyway, we have one more lap of the safety car, it seems, so we are gonna resume on lap 26, and we're gonna have 2 laps of running until the end of the race. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna do any interviews today, but for next time I will be sure to make some reservations and questions. Wait, why did I say reservations? Maybe predictions would have been a better word. I don't know. Anyway, this is gonna be a very interesting end to the race. We have 2 medium runners, all old medium runners, 10 laps old, which are probably like 40 or 50% already. Actually, maybe less. I would say 35%. And everyone else is on new softs, except for Callum Lyons, and I really don't know how. This is the first time he's using softs, and they're 6 laps old. How is that possible? I really don't know. But yeah, it is gonna be interesting to see if Galaxy and Puma can hold these guys up. I really doubt it, but what I am expecting is a lot of carnage. It isn't second time. If you look at the race director, Callum Lyons started on mediums, went to hards, went to mediums, went to softs. Oh no! That's Mitch. Oh my god, I'm blind. I'm blind! Thank you. Thank you. That's Mitch. How did I miss that? I really don't know. Very good. But we are going to have restart in just a few moments. This is the only time that we are waiting for nearly to the finish line. And we are underway. I probably should get glasses, yeah. But let's see here. Is Bagley gonna be able to make the move? He's trying to go around the down the inside, but he backs out of it. And there's a Ferrari just killing everyone behind, with Callum Lyons also killing everyone behind. And he also kills himself. So that's very nice. There's also a Haas of Niki Lauda, very unfortunate for the reserve. Also dropping behind. But let's see here, Bakalik nearly trying to go for the move as he backs out of it. As he has N4 behind, just keeping the pressure on the house driver. Because they cannot really spare any time. They literally have 1 lap remaining until the end. And they have to get these moves ASAP if they want to win. And Galaxy not leaving any space around the outside, going into Ascari, but he does still make it stick. But that gives a good opportunity for Puma to go ahead and get a gap of 3 seconds. As Galaxy has now been overtaken by S, as S is trying to make a double move on both of the McLarens, as nearly they make contact going into Parabolica, but thankfully they don't, as the McLarens also nearly make contact, as it's 3 wide between the McLarens and the Red Bull, as he's been pushed wide, 4 wide between everyone. What is happening here? No one is handing any positions here. Now it's 2 wide between the Galaxy and S, and now Galaxy and S, and now Galaxy and Hable. And both of the McLarens lose those positions. Very unfortunate for the McLarens, but you can't do anything about it, unfortunately. But that was amazing scenes there. by these guys. 4 wide into turn 1. That's unbelievable. As N4 is now trying to go on his teammate, just making contact on him. Thankfully no damage, I think. But he has now dropped back as he retires from the race. He literally had no penalties and he would have gotten so many positions if he just stayed where he was. Ah, that's very unfortunate for the McLaren of Galaxy Dark. Very, very unfortunate. But let's see here. Puma and Bakalik battling it on the final corner. You don't need to overtake him, Bakalik. You're gonna get past him by penalties. It's gonna be 3 wide for the win. Who's gonna cross the finish line first? It is going to be, I think, Puma. But because of the penalty, Puma gets demoted to P3 and Callum Pierce goes to P2 because of the penalties. Bakalik wins the Italian Grand Prix of Season 5. Pierce is in P2 as Puma is on the final podium position in P3. Jesus. Honestly, less carnage than I thought there would be. I was expecting more. Disappointing! I'm only joking, of course. But unbelievable scenes there. What is this? But yeah, anyway, congratulations to Bakalik on winning today's race. It just keeping it clean, no penalties, and went on to win. Not too shabby. Very, very good. Also, congratulations to Pierce and Puma, who are on the final steps on the podiums. Here is the race director, and let's check the other guys. So, Bakalik has won today's race and also got fast lap, so he gets a full roster of points. Callum Pierce is in P2, Puma in P3, which is the final podium position. I'm the one in P4, Mitch Snape in P5, Hable Babel in P6, Bouncer in P7, N4 in P8, Shanks in P9, and S in the Williams in P10. Gets the final points paying position. The Green Racer is in P11, Nicky Lauda P12, Callum Leons P13, Galaxy Dark P14, Turek P15, Maestro P16, Marek Ivanek P17, and Oscar in P18. Unfortunately for Turek, Galaxy Dark, Maestro Marek, and Oscar, that they DNF'd. Out of all of these drivers, I honestly don't know who to pick for my driver of the day. I would pick Bakalik. He started from P4. He was very clean to not get a penalty to win the race. His race pace was just insane. Like he didn't give the 2 safety cars or even turn 1, lap 1 anything. Like he just went clear. He was clean. And it was very, very impressive from Bakalik there to win today's race. I think he would be my driver of the day. Just showing that he is very, very fast. But yeah, that is going to be it for this race of Monza of F3. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Once again, there are links in the description for the socials. You can follow us there to keep updates. You can also join the Discord if you want to race, maybe help out around the league, or just hang out. You can also leave a like if you enjoyed today's stream and the commentary, and you can also subscribe to this channel because it does really help us out. So yeah, hopefully we can see you in the other races as well. Of F4, I think it's tomorrow, F2 on Tuesday, and F1 on Wednesday. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's commentary and the race. My name is Kickerlin, and I will see you next week at the same time for Why, friends? No, no, no. Oh, oh, who made this calendar? I hate you. But yeah, I will see you next week. Have a good night and see you next time.